Hey, what's happening guys? Mark back in the workshop on Mark's Aquatics. What we're going to be breeding today guys is, well not today, but we're going to be breeding some of these lovely little gold rams. I got a lovely pair which I've been down to pick from my local fish shop. Beautiful colours, the male's on the right, female on the left. Now I've put a few of the old dither fish in there. They're just a little guppy endler fry and a little zebra danio up the top there, which tends to calm them down because they're always out swimming, and I find they get quite spooked when you first bring them into the aquarium. Substrate wise, I've got some it's fluval stratum on the bottom. Okay, this is going to buffer the water a bit. They like a pH of around 6.5 for breeding, slightly acidic, and I've just put in there a nice couple of stones, a plant pot for them to go and hide in if they feel they need to get away. They can do. And a nice flat stone as well, which hopefully we're going to get some spawn on shortly. Now they're not the sort of thing that's going to spawn straight away. They're egg layers. They can lay anything up to about 200 eggs, and hopefully they'll lay it. They could lay them anywhere. I've bred rams in the past and they will breed on literally anything. I've had them on the glass, I've had them on the top of the heaters, on the glass itself, you name it, and they can dig. They'd even put them on the substrate. They'll dig a little hole and lay them in the substrate. I've had them do that before as well. But I've put that nice flat stone there just outside the pot, which hopefully they'll lay on, because then if they don't bring the fry up themselves, which I'm hoping they will, but it's quite rare they bring up their own fry. Sometimes they do, or they eat them. It's a bit of a hit and miss with parents, but they seem quite happy together. I'm slowly feeding them up on bloodworm. She's got a bit of a belly on her as well, and if you look quite close, I'll try and zoom in, you can see that little breeding tube there has already started to drop down, you see. And she's got a bit of a belly on her. She's starting to fatten up a bit. There's a good view from the side there, and hopefully they're going to lay on that stone. And what they'll do is she'll go along, she'll be depositing the eggs through the little egg laying tube there, and he'll follow behind her, and he will put the sperm onto the eggs and fertilise the eggs that way. Okay, that's how they roll. A little bit of courtship action just going on there, and you can see the bloodworms in amongst the substrate. Now they love puffing in amongst it and finding them, rooting them out, and I'm dropping them in there probably 3 times a day. Little zebra danio's got one in his mouth there, whizzing about. But they're a beautiful little pair of gold rams. I've bred them all before. I've bred the German rams, the Holland rams, all different types, but not the golden rams before. They're all much to breed, and once they get going, they're prolific little breeders. They can have anything up to a couple of hundred fry, and they're great because they don't take the infusoria like on the other breeding videos that I've done. They'll actually go straight onto the micro worms because they're big enough to take larger prey items, so you can get them going straight away on the micro worms, which is great. And they'll start swimming on about the 7th day from wrigglers. On about the 7th day they'll start swimming. So hopefully I'll get back in touch with you when we got some fry, or sorry, some eggs first to be good, and then we'll get the fry out and we'll see what we can get out of these little guys. Okay, so stay tuned, and I'll join all these little videos together as we're going along, and we'll have a nice long one for you guys to watch. Okay. Right guys, with the golden rams and with rams in general, like I say, breeding wise, you're going to have to get them all conditioned up first. You're going to need the tank. This is a 10-gallon tank, okay? It's the one I made. It's the old shrimp tank that I made a while ago out of acrylic with that rear trickle filter system, with the uplift tube there with that pre-filter sponge on, which I've put on to stop any fry going up. But you're going to need a cycled filter, and make sure it's all up to speed, conditions are right. You want the pH to be about, I would say, anything from 6.5 to 7, okay? Because if you're going to be doing wild caught species of these, you're going to be probably down to around 6.5 with the wild ones. But the ones that have been bred in captivity now over the years, neutral pH of around 7 is fine. They're going to breed at that for you. It's around 6.5, could be a little bit higher in here. But as long as you feed them well and put them in a tank with their little pots, the little stones, all the things that they need. They're going to breed for you. As long as they're happy, they're going to breed. They'll do what nature put them on the earth to do. Obviously I've got the Subwassa tang in there. You can use Java Fern, but I just wrapped some of that around that little log with a bit of cotton there, just to add a little bit more micro life into the tank, because those little fry will be buzzing around there, in and out of it, eating the Infusoria and the microculture, which is living in amongst it when they become free swimming. So it's nice for them. There's a bit of cover. I put it up on the filter like that and onto the pot, just to create like a little bit of shade underneath. Right guys, we're back. Now it's been about a week since I've been feeding these guys up and settling them into the aquarium now from when we last spoke, and that girl is looking a little bit thinner than she did when I last came down. So they've spawned somewhere and I can see them. Can you see them? Can you see the eggs? The other male at the back, here you go, they'll give you a clue. Let's go and have a look and see what they've done. Now this stage you've got to be really careful. Now I normally set up with a tripod. If you look on top of that pot, there is at least 200 plus eggs on the top of that pot, just behind that log. I'll try and zoom in a bit for you. There you go, there's proud dad there, and there's all his little babies, and he's got a little keen eye on those. Mum's down here. There's Mum. As you can see with Mum, if you're worried about sexing these guys, you keep away from my eggs. And you, everybody, that's what they're doing now, they're just protecting the eggs. Now the males have got elongated dorsal fin on the top. The first 2 or 3 rays on the dorsal fin, okay, is longer on the male than on the female. Okay, with the other rams, with German rams, blue rams, they're a lot easier. You can see with her, see, they are slightly longer, but not as long as his at the back. And like I said, there's plenty of pictures online, guys, with sexing these. Males tend to be more rounder in the nose as well, and the females tend to have more of a pointier face. See how round his head is at the top? But they're quite similar sometimes. A lot of these traits can only be seen when they're fully adult. And these are a young pair, which I picked up from my local pet shops, my local fish shop. But they've settled in great. We've got some fry now. With rams, you've got to be really careful, okay, guys, because they will predate on their own eggs. They panic so easily, okay, and they will just eat the eggs or they'll eat the fry. Now, they're going to be a few days before these guys hatch and become in the wriggler stage, where they'll move them around and protect them. But I think for the purpose of this video, just so we get some fry, because I'm not always crashing about in here, but I'm in here quite a lot, and they tend to like a bit of peace and quiet. Now, I put the Endler guppies in there, and that little zebra danio, just literally, they call them like dither fish, and it basically just keeps, because they're always happy and looking for food, it puts them at ease as well, and they can get a little bit spooky and tend to eat the eggs and stuff quite quickly. So they've got cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the I'm going to wait until they become wrigglers. We're going to leave the parents in there and the other fish that they're quite happily chasing around. It's nice to leave them in there because it gives them some protection. It lets them do their job like they would do in the wild, protecting their eggs from any predators. This tank's looking nice this morning. He's hiding as usual. Where are you this morning, mate? I put a couple of zebra danios in there as well. There's his girlfriend over there, one of the young ones that I left in there from when he had that first batch of fry in here, and she was still in here, so I just left her in here, and they're getting on well now. She's growing up quick. He's always hiding somewhere. But it's looking nice. Starting to grow out nice, that. This needs a bit of a trim up now. Maybe remove a bit of the duckweed. But it's all looking good. So that's good news, guys. We've got some little ram babies on the way, little golden rams. And I'll teach you how to rear them up when we have some little wrigglers, okay? Right, okay guys, we've got some wrigglers out. You can see them there. Hello. Not you. You want to look at the fry on the floor. There you go. Now they're tiny, they've just hatched and they're just wriggling away there now. Now this is a pretty crucial part of the process. And excuse me, I'm trying to look at your babies, thank you very much. You can just see those little wrigglers there on the gravel, which she's taken off the top of the pot. There's still some eggs left on the top there. They're still trying to move them away as we speak. But I think what I'm going to do is, because they're a little bit prone to eating the eggs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the I'm going to just suck a few out with a turkey baster, and I'm going to put some in my other room in the zebraplecos. I'm just going to put them in a little pot in there, and I'm just going to tumble a few in there, or not tumble them, just put them in there and just bring a few on in there just in case they do eat the eggs, so we can get a few through that stage and have a few more babies for you to see. Okay, right, okay guys, I've got the old turkey baster there. Okay, I'm going to go in, depress the bulb first. That'll take the air out, and go very slow. And because the tube's clear, she'll go a little bit nuts now. Right, there you go guys. You can now see the tiny little wrigglers in the bottom. We've got quite a few in there. So I thought what I'll do is, she's happy there, she's back with her eggs. Look, she's still got a good load there, and there's probably a lot in the gravel as well. And there's still some on the top of the pot there, they're still moving from over there. So we got, hopefully I haven't disturbed her too much. And him, there's Dad there, he's a beautiful fish. Look at the colours on that guy. Go on then. I'm going to leave you alone now. A lot of people are probably saying, oh, you want to take the other fish out of there, take the other fish out because they're going to eat the eggs. But it does keep them active, I find anyway, and protecting those eggs, and they're more likely to become more parental and look after them. So I'm going to get away now, and I'm going to go back into the shrimp room now, and I'm going to put these into the shrimp tank, and I'll acclimate these slowly into the other tank there over a bit of time, and then I'll show you them in their new little home, and we'll grow them out in there. Okay. While we're in the shrimp room guys, I thought I'd give you a little update on the zebraplecos. There's another one down there underneath the wood, but they've all coloured up lovely now, as you can see. I don't know where the other little guy, oh there he is, he's down the bottom there. So we've still got the 5, they're all growing on lovely, all coloured up nice now. Been eating the micro worms, you can probably see them in the water column there, getting blown around. They're still hunting those down, they're putting on some nice weight now. So I think it's about time we can let them go now into the aquarium here, and then they'll find their own little hidey holes here and there, and join in with the parents then, and join the colony. And there'll be lots for them to eat down in here, in amongst all that. The other 2 are in the pot again as we speak, which is good news. Hopefully we'll have some more eggs in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. We've got the little tetras in there that we bred as well, they're all doing well. I've just got to make sure my sponge filter there, I'm going to check that first, make sure that's nicely sealed all the way around, because we don't want any of the little fry getting sucked into the pump and ending up in that big trickle filter up there, which wouldn't be good at all. But they're growing well. So now what I've got to do is I've got to set my other little pot up next alongside it here, and we'll put these little baby gold rounds in. The water conditions are very, very similar guys to the in the other room. The pH is around 6.5 in here, and it's about 6.5 in their tank as well. So it's very much a much. So it's not gonna stress them too much. So I'm going to get them really slowly acclimate them in, and then I'll get back to you when they're all in there. Okay. Right guys, I've got the other pot in now, and here's the little fry. A little bit of a cloud of them in the bottom there, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip that into the water there, and just put a little dash of water in there like that, and I'm going to keep doing that now for every sort of 10 minutes, and that'll equalise that temperature difference, because it's slightly warmer in here than in their tank. Not by much, only by about 2 degrees. So we'll I'll change that over so they're all happy, and I'll get back to you when they're in. Okay. Right guys, there you go. They're all in. Now all they're going to do now is they're going to go through their little wriggling stage. I'll try and get you a bit of a close up if I can. There you go, that's not too bad. But you can see those little tails buzzing away there. And they're all out, nicely hatched. We've left some with the parents. Whoops. They're so small it tends to try and focus on everything else apart from them. There you go. We got a good load in there, maybe 30, could be more, not sure. But so within a few days now they're going to be free swimming, and we can start feeding them the micro worms, which they're going to take straight away because they're a lot bigger than tetra fry. I'll try and get you another view from the top. It might be a bit better. There you go. That's a bit better. Focus, dude. Ah, there you go. So hopefully now, like I just said, sorry, yeah, the micro worms, when they become free swimming, they can take micro worms because they're a lot bigger, obviously, than the tetra babies and all the other species we've been breeding. And you can see they're very actively swimming away there now. So I'm going to be doing a partial water change in here probably every day, and I'll just take out half with the turkey baster like you've seen me do before. This is just an old GoPro lid that I use, and around the handles there's minute little holes, and which they're not going to get through, but the water can get in. So every time I suck some water out, like I've said before, with the turkey baster, like I do with the zebras there, I suck some water out, and then that water rises up through the holes in the bottom and refills it and keeps them all nice and clean and nice and healthy. So I'm going to get back to you guys when they're free swimming. Okay, I'll see you then. Oh well, I thought we'd do a last little check-in there before I signed off from part 1 of this series, and hope you're enjoying it so far. Blue rams, all the other rams, all different common type of rams, they all breed the same way. They want that lower pH water. Like I say, the fluval stratum that I'm using here will lower the pH. It's a buffered substrate for shrimp, and you can lower it that way, or you can use rainwater if you want a lower pH. Like I said, these guys will breed quite happily between 6.5 and 7, a neutral pH of 7, because they're used. So many of these fish now are bred in captivity. They're used to the higher pHs, so they're going to breed for you quite easily in a community tank. And like I say, guys, if you want to breed them and you get a pair of these, they will protect their young. If you're lucky, they'll bring some up. But if you want to, you can always take some out and bring them up and rear them up yourself in a little tank, or even in a decent, acrylic or big Tupperware dish. You'll bring them up in there with a little air stone quite easily. And like I say, they're easy to feed from when they're first free swimming, as they're a bit bigger fry. So, but you can see there, happy parents. They got the kids. We've taken a good few of them to rear up, so we make sure we get a few through for you to see. And hopefully these guys are going to look after this little brood that they've got left. They've probably got over 100 there left, and bring them on. It'll be interesting for you guys to see them bring them on and corralling them around the aquarium when they become free swimming. It's quite an interesting little journey to follow. Anyway, guys, as always, you're all stars. Love you as always. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on part 2 of how to breed gold rams. Bye for now.